a little faster to go out of town this way because I can leave on the side of the village. On the world map here, there's only really one encounter that I want to get, and that is mosquitoes, because they can drop a holy rune, which will save me time going to buy a holy rune.
What holy runes do in the game is they allow you to move really quick in areas like here.
Yeah, you can sprint anywhere but the world map. You need a true holy rune to get a sprint on the world map, and only Stallion has that.
And with the current strat, he's pretty much useless, so we don't even use him.
I do use Stallion for some portions of the run.
Well, he's there for like when we have to recruit a certain character.
Yeah, I want to do the recruiting bonanza.
But we used to bring him in for a certain boss battle, but due to us potentially buying a second holy rune now, we can put that onto a different character, which allows us to bring in another caster to bring the battle down to 3 turns.
So I decided to fight this fight because he puts me right at level 5, which is actually a little bit nice for this run, because I can move it.
Level 5 gives you a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, I have a better chance to run away from these battles. And plus it makes the fight boss coming up pretty easy. Or not easy, but it's easier.
Yeah, as that way we don't have we have a lower chance of dying at this point. Because with the boss, they have an attack that will hit every character, and it will hurt quite a bit, and it has the chance of killing 1 or more characters.
That was pretty good, actually. Okay, so depending on what she does first turn here, I might defend. Second turn, I might run away from this next turn. Okay, so I'm just going to defend. Oh, that's actually kind of hurtful. I should have probably... Oh, I got lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I got really lucky. You can actually game over in this fight if you die in the first 2 turns. If I die in the third turn, nothing matters. So, all my characters died, but the battle ends after 3 turns, so... You can't win that battle.
And here we get a demonstration of the game's most powerful rune.
This rune will be very useful for leveling up later. Or just like killing up monsters as I go.
The rune has the capacity of taking out almost any given enemy instantly. It will do that to anything but bosses, except for that battle which is a scripted scene.
So I moved Gremio to the back row there, just so that he doesn't get killed in the next boss battle. Ted doesn't really matter about him.
It doesn't really matter for Ted because after this next area we will actually lose him as a character.
I'm gonna save here.
As if we are unlucky, they could kill a character that we'd rather have not die.
16 minutes, not bad.
Real quick here.
Maybe like around 15 for this.
We have a donation from Mangled Pixel.
Hey, Mangled.
A $50 donation. It says, boop. So sad I missed Ascension and Sir VG's runs. Curse you, time zones. Good luck for the rest of the runs. Thank you very much, Mangled Pixel.
Hey, Mangled.
Okay. Good dodge, Ted. Good dodge, Ted.
Yeah, if we can, we want to get as many dodges as we can because that'll really help for the upcoming actual boss fights.
Yeah, this is actually a very good battle. I should be no trouble with the boss fight. Cleo has 34 magic too. I need to get. Hopefully, Cleo will get 41 magic after this.
The reason we get the reason why we want to have 41 magic is it allows her to get an AOE spell for her Fire Rune, which will really help us for a certain leveling spot.
Oh, that was close. Oh, it doesn't matter actually. He already attacked. Okay, it's over. Okay, so we're looking for Cleo's magic stat. Let's see what it is. 40. So it's about to level up again.
So we are slightly unlucky, so it'll maybe slow us down by maybe a minute or two at the very most. It's like things like this that for RNG and Suikoden that can affect the time, but this isn't one of the really big ones. The first big one we have coming up is the 6 kobolds fight, and we can spend upwards of half an hour trying to encounter that battle.
I don't think I've ever taken that long, but you got 5-10 minutes on average.
My brother had at least a good 20 minutes one time in a practice run, so.
It's just there's like so many different encounters you can fight, and I want to fight a counter that has 6 strong enemies because the experience gets divided up. So if I just fight one enemy, I get like diluted experience. Whereas like if I fight 6, I can get really good boost, and I need it for my level grinding.
Because what that battle will do is if we encounter all 6 and we kill that, we should go up from about level 11 to about level 24.
12 to 22, yeah. Oops, this way.
Yeah, but mind you, Suikoden's always been really good about level jumping as...
Yep.
If you were to, say, bring a character in from a low level, like if you're like, say, level 50 and in a later area, and we were to bring in a level 30 character, just by walking around fighting the monsters, they would catch up to level 50 in maybe about 5 battles at most.
Oh yeah, 600 experience? 580, okay. So I'm fighting those guys get pretty good experience compared to the other enemies in this area, so I'm trying to get a couple experience. I don't like this is a terrible battle.
We want to not fight as the pigs at all because they have a very long attack animation and they are also pretty hard to run from.
And they don't give me. Actually, I can let them go. Well, I let the ravens go. As long as my average level is higher than the average level of the enemy, I can let go instead of try to run away.
But certain battles in certain areas, just by having, say, one extra monster of that same type will prevent you from letting them go. The first time we really have an issue with that is when we get to the Dwarven Vault. But there is a slight area before that, but generally we just bribe the enemies there as it saves time. The enemies in the Dwarven Vault are at a higher level, so it costs more to bribe them, and it may actually be harmful to bribe every enemy that we can't let go.
We have a couple more donations here. We have a $40 donation from Watts.
Hey, Watts.
This says, during FFG's last practice stream, there was a tie between Fukian and someone else, and he finished the run with the other character. So I think Fukian deserves his spotlight. P.S. I don't know a thing about Suikoden, but FFG is great, and it's a great cause.
Well,
Best of luck. And we have a $25 donation from an anonymous donor. It says, hi, thanks for this great marathon. I want to place a bid on a new name for the bid, Liberation Army Castle. He wants to name it MV Base. Thanks for all.
Oh, it's better than MV Luck, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how much the MV luck affects our Suikoden run, as there is more places where we can lose a lot of time than we could actually gain time.
There's what, 3, 4 different things that troll in this run, and
There is the 6 Kobold Battle, which should be coming up shortly.
yeah, that's about 40 minutes into the. That's about 45, 50 into the run, so it's about 30 minutes from now.
Yeah, so not too far away, but still within the early portions of the game. The next part is something that most people who play Suikoden absolutely despise. It is simply known as the wheel. The wheel can completely troll you to infinity. One of the the really big speedrunner who does this game,
CVATs.
yeah, Sivats, he has had upwards of 50 tries trying to get through the wheel at one point.
Oops, I have to say all right there.
Normally the average is anywhere between 5 to 15. But that's on even somewhat decent RNG. CV has had anywhere from 2 to 50 something. And my brother usually gets around 20.
Try this guy here. I need to fight at least one more fight outside in the world map before I go enter the next before I go back to Rockland. Oh.
Suikoden games have always had a lot of multiple choice dialogue, and certain ones where if you actually choose the wrong choice, you can actually never be able to recruit that character again.
Yeah, there's 2 times where I have to actually be careful where I mash. This message you know.
We didn't get the battle.
I still have one more.
Yeah, but right now we're only at winning camp, so we can. Hopefully we can get a battle before going.
I should
to
go over
Rockland.
Rockland. Rockland's pretty far with distance. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't usually.
At least this isn't the map from Suikoden 4. For those of you who have played Suikoden 4, you will know what the hazards of that world map is. For those of you who don't, Suikoden 4 has what a lot of old school RPGers would simply call the most annoying world map you could ever have. The average of getting a random battle is roughly about every 5 seconds. And more often than not, you will encounter a battle as soon as you step out of the menu.
Hey, Sir VG.
Hey.
And my brother texted me not too long ago saying he has lost over 45 minutes on the wheel at one point.
Let's hope that doesn't happen here. I think my luck on the wheel is a little bit better than that.
And another point he has also lost a lot of time on, which really shouldn't happen sometimes, is the dice game. He's lost over 10 minutes on that.
I almost never lose the dice game anymore.
Well, but the dice game is still RNG based.
So now we gotta rescue the people we just beat in the last boss battle.
But they will be indebted to us, and they will eventually join our cause. There are a couple characters in this game and the other Suikoden games as well that sometimes you will have to fight them before you are actually able to recruit them.
That's a good battle. Puts me over to what I need. 680. If I get if I can get a battle that gives me 120, I'll probably fight it. Oh, okay. So I gotta fight both soldier battles before I come back and heal. I'm gonna sell some crap. Almost sell everything he has, pretty much.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to bring our money up to eventually 10,000. What this does is it lets us play a cup game here in Rockland that when we spend 10,000, we actually have a specific data save that where we can do it up to 15 or 20 times, and we will know exactly what the outcomes for those 15 or 20 tries is exactly.
I'm saving before that just in case.
Because there have been cases where there has been two different sets of the data on the same disk. But every single disk has had a different 15 number sequence.
Oh, nice. Yes, that's a good fight.
That was actually a perfect fight.
Actually, if I would have got 2 crits and killed him with 2 crits.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was almost perfect.
Can't ask for much better than that. As long as no one gets countered here, I'm happy. Ah, you son of a gun. Counter him back. Oh well. Oh my god. That's fine, actually. So as long as Cleo's alive. She'll go level 8 here and he'll have 41 magic. He's actually at 43.
Which is actually pretty good.
So now I have to go back and heal. So I need to get her 2nd level fire spell.
Her 2nd level fire spell is a...
Firestorm.
Yeah, it does about 100 damage to all enemies, I think.
160.
Right. Suikoden games, like if you were to take a look at certain runes, would say on average something like 300 damage to one enemy, 100 damage to all enemies. What that is it's mostly just a rough base. It's not an exact number, it's just what you're likely to get on an average stat.
This battle's over. 171 to each guy. That's why we get Firestorm. And we rescue Varkas and Sidonia.
My brother just mentioned that there is actually 5 different save sequences for each disc.
Okay.
For the cup games, so if you're unlucky enough, you can actually encounter one of the 4 that you don't actually have written down.
This shouldn't be too much of a problem. I should be able to get the one I got.
However, which one you get will not change if you do a soft reset. It's only if you do a complete hard reset will the actual data change.
Guess I'm going to save here first before I do this game. Oh, I mean to say, shit, hope that doesn't go up.
Oh well.
Oh, it only cost me 30 gold.
Yeah. And we should have more than enough still, yeah.
Is it 36, 34 minutes? 32. Actually, that's very good.
Yeah, that's actually quite good. That's actually a little bit
It's about
ahead.
time of my PB right now.
Yeah.
Why can I not? Okay. I should have about 10,700 gold. I believe somewhere around there. 10,355 is perfect. Follow the cup. I believe it's this one. Yes, I got it right. I actually know where it's at. So we're gonna do this about the.
15 times.
Actually, I'm doing it until I get 200,000.
Okay, so we're going 20 times.
Yeah, or actually 19 because I started with 10. Yeah, I have to win 190,000, and that'll cover my gold cost for.
For pretty much.
Yeah, until I start getting more gold during boss battles.
Yeah, this will cover us till about maybe halfway through the game. But this is probably one of the most slow parts of the game.
Each one of these, I think, takes 16 seconds to do. So if I do 19 times, it's about 320 seconds, I think.
Which is just slightly over 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I have to remember where I'm at in my pattern.
Also, it is a very interesting choice of music for the cup game. Kind of that Western cowboy style, but in its own quirky little way.
Kind of reminds me of Big Shots
From
Bebop.
okay.
I'd like to have a pattern that had a lot of 2s in it since I could just mash A, but. Oop. I put 200,000. I still get 200,000. I'm just gonna do an extra one now. Unfortunately, this does not change my pattern.
Yeah. Fortunately. As long as you do not hard reset the game, the pattern will be the exact same.
Yep.
My brother does have an untested theory as to how the disc loads the sequence for the cups, as you can do the same run for multiple weeks in a row and have the exact same sequence, but we believe it may have something to do with the system settings of the console. Like, one thing we did notice though is that the disc did get a different pattern when we put it into a different machine.
I'm not playing on disc though. I'm playing off the PSN version.
Yeah. Well, it's still the same concept.
Yeah. $120-some thousand now. I believe this is still number 1. Okay, good. 141,000. 6 more. Even with this much money in hand, I probably will still end up spending all of it.
What we generally end up spending that money on is mostly runes, a couple of healing items, but the big thing that we spend a lot of the money on is actually weapon upgrades.
Yeah, and armor for Pawn.
Because Pawn has a battle about in the second half of the game where if you lose, he can actually die, which will prevent us from getting all 108 characters.
Yeah, that's a battle I'm forced to win. If I actually die there, I have to.
It's
well,
not optional
reset.
for us to lose it in a 100%.
Here, so I'll be saving for that battle. Okay, so the last two are 2, and the second middle one and the left one.
If you were playing casual, Pawn should almost always win that battle unless you're just being really silly about how you're
Even
choosing
casual is
choices.
still probably a little tough. 'Cause I grind them up pretty strong before it, and I give them the best armor and weapons. Okay, so that's it for this game. 201,000. Now I'm back to London camp. I don't want to fight that anymore. I pretty much don't fight any more regular encounters. I think I fight one that's not forced. Oh, I fight a couple more, but I fight one not for a while.
Yeah, the big battle the big optional battle that we'll be doing that we really want to fight is the 6 kobolds, which should be coming up in about a quarter of an hour at the very most, but closer to about 10 minutes.
I gotta do one more place, then I can go to the full battle.
We have a $5 donation from 50 Pitch. It just says, good luck on the Opal and to earn.
Oh god, those are the 2 hardest things in this run. Besides maybe the wheel.
The kobolds, the wheel, the opal, and to earn are the 4 big places in the game in which we can actually lose more than half an hour of time. Because each one is a low percentage chance.
That was weird. I'm holding left on my analog while I moved up.
The opal, if I remember correctly, is a 3.2% chance.
Somewhere around there. 3.2 or 1.8.
Because I know the earn is 2.8, I think.
So instead of trying to run from those snails, I bribe instead. So I lose like 850 gold.
Yeah, because otherwise we have...
If I fail to run, they get 2 slow animation attacks going off.
Yeah, the snails are the first real enemy that we can't let go. And if we fail the runs, that will eat up a lot of time, especially if we can't get away.
They don't do much damage, but they're just really slow attacks.
A failed run will cost us about 10 seconds per.
Yep. So I just waste 800 gold and bribe them. And when you bribe someone, you pay, I think, 3 times the gold amount of what you would have won for that fight. So if I would have won, if they were to give me 200, it'd cost me 600 to bribe them.